Hello friends, today's project is creating a cyberpunk dead-end alley. For this, we create a first-person project and also create a simple empty level. From the landscape menu, we create a relatively small landscape because in this project, we only want to build one alley. Blackout. In all projects, the first thing to do is create a series of boxes so we can have a general view of the environment, the camera position and the scale. As you can see, I added several boxes and by testing from the character and camera view, I get closer to my goal. We are going to have a series of small buildings on the left and right side of the alley and a small building at the end. There will also be a patch on the left side to continue the route. I will show you these repetitive parts quickly so that our video does not become too long. I plan to place several towers behind the building at the end of the alley later. And also I added a simple cine camera for our base view. Alright, let's move on the alley ground, which is not going to be completed. I just use a simple mesh with a height of 1 cm and scale it up so it's cover our surface. I downloaded 3 types of asphalt from Quixel Bridge and I want to use them in our project. The reason of the variation is that I want to have damaged material in some areas. I select one of the materials and use Quixel Bridge to create a blend. This is the easiest way to create a blend material. Next, we can place each of the texture into the layers. Let's test it. As you can see, we cannot paint on the mesh, and the reason is the lack of points and segments on the surface. So we rebuild the mesh once again with a higher subdivide. As you can see, the points have appeared, and by selecting the paint channel, we can start painting. In the blend setting, you can change the tiling amount of each material. If the video has been helpful so far, please support us by liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. Also, by enabling puddles, you can add water, which will help our scene a lot. In the blending setting, you can also mix the layers together more uniformly. Alright, now we can start painting. Now you can open Fab Market, search for the word asphalt, and download anything that fits your scene such as mesh, decals, and other assets, then add them to your scene. If you import a mesh into your scene and it does not match your ground material, you can go to the material setting and adjust the base color factor to make it more compatible for your scene. Now we can use these mesh and decals to achieve a good variety in our area. After importing the decals, you can adjust their normal setting to give them the proper depth. If the video has been helpful so far, please support us by liking, commenting and subscribing to the channel. You should also try to reach a similar initial scene like this. Let's move on to the buildings. The first thing we do is bring the mannequin character into the scene so we can have the correct scale. In the first method, we want to model the building directly inside Unreal Engine. In this method, I set the building height to 640 centimeters so that each floor is 320 centimeters. However, because there is a shop in the building, the first floor will be a bit higher. After creating a closed space, we want to make the cuts with Boolean option. At this stage, I consider a box with a height of 240 centimeters for the shop counter so that it also match well with the human scale. For Boolean process, we first select the main wall and then the wall that will be subtracted from it. Then we go to the modeling menu, enter the model section and apply Boolean. For the second floor, I wanted to have a balcony on the left side at the height of 380 centimeters from the ground. For these parts, we also create the door and window opening using the same Boolean method. Now our simple building is created, and the only left is to add material and details to it. One of the most important elements in cyberpunk or sci-fi scene is the presence of LED signs. Therefore, for our buildings, we need to model several of them. For this, I create a simple box. Go into the modeling setting and into the polygroup edit, I select the desired face, insert it, and then extrude it inward. Now we need a text. I use Blender and its text feature to create a text object. By going into edit mode, we can type there and select the desired text. After that, we can also change the font in setting. After that, we convert our text, and by using solidify, we increase the thickness. To create special effects like blinking or turning off some letters, we separate some of them. After importing the meshes into Unreal, we can create a simple material, give it a color, and also multiply its emissive color with another color to increase its intensity. Now we create a counter for our shop, and if it intersects with the entrance, we create a cut on its surface using boolean. Then we can add guidelines on the surface of the counter, and using inset and extrude there, we can create a place for another sign. After modeling, if the UVs of your mesh have problems, you can go to UV section in modeling tool, and there, using auto UV with the X-Atlas mode, you can generate a normal UV layout for your model. To move the scene forward faster, I prepared some signs for you that you can also download and use. If there are problems when importing the texture, you can manually re-import the texture and by assigning them to the model, achieve the desired result. Now it's time to work a bit on the lighting. First, enable the HDRI backdrop plugin. Just make sure to save your file first. I download this HDRI from Polyhaven website. Now we import the HDRI backdrop, but because its size is small, it makes our scene dark. I changed the size to about 5000, and also I moved the HDRI downward so that the stretching on its edge is not visible. Now I want to assign the HDRI that we downloaded to the scene. But first I reduced their light, add bright curves, and also have the RGB values so that it gives us a darker scene. We can also reach the desired result by changing the directional light intensity, adjusting the skylight setting, and assigning the download HDRI to in cube map mode. We can also add a post-process volume, set the exposure to manual in the setting, and adjust its value as desired. To have a darker scene, we can reduce the directional light intensity, rotate its light source, or increase its size so that we have softer shadows. Now it's time to assign materials to the walls of our building. For this, I test many materials and then continue by using a blend material to paint them onto the wall surface. For the blend material, there is no need to create a new material. We can duplicate the floor material and simply replace the textures. I will show you these parts of the video to you briefly. We just need to change the tiling on the walls and bring it a natural scale, and by painting 3 layers as desired, we can reach the result we want. Also, the best thing we can do for this material is to use a dark or dirty concrete material in the corners and in the lower or upper areas where water usually collects, so we can get a better result. Now our building is ready, and we need to add details and props to it. For this, I modeled several props in Blender and prepared them for you, so you can use them to complete your building. You can even place all the meshes together in Blender, build the entire building there, and then import into the Unreal. I've created an example of this for you. All of these models are completely free for you to download, and the link is available in the description. Please support the channel so we can continue creating and sharing this kind of content. You can place each of these meshes individually on your buildings to add more details. For this slide, we need to use a lot of pipes, cables, and props, such as electrical control boxes, to create a busy and detailed surface on the building. I won't explain much more here. Just watch the video and add the details in the same way. In the next part, we'll continue and make this alley more complete. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please support the channel by liking, subscribing and sharing.